Hello guys, Mr. came back once again. You saw the title of the video. 100 Ippo round 1507 came out, I believe, yesterday. I waited till 6 o'clock for drawing my comic book, waiting for this chapter to come out, and I thought it's like only supposed to be like a 2-week break, right? Just maybe, just maybe. It's supposed to go on longer, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, Bob. I just don't know. But then I wake up, you know, go through my usual routine. It's about what, pushing 12. It's 11:48. And it was like, well, I see somebody else's video saying there's a chapter out. Well, they was just posting up the images, but it's just I didn't click on the video. I just saw by a thumbnail that the chapter did come out, and I read that chapter title, and it just I don't know. It's very rare I get tense in this type of stuff, because there are some fights for Ippo. You know, we knew Wally was never going to beat Ricardo. What else? And we didn't get the full thing with the Mishiba thing either, so we missed out on the later half. But in this case, I've been so tense about this fight. Now, sure, I've placed my bets on the Sendo, alright? The Rocky of Nanua, the Osaka Mexican Killer Tiger, but you never know. You never know. The tension is real. Like, the days for a chapter coming, it's just like, I have a feeling he's going to win, but you never know. Oh, boy. Ugh. And then I've seen other people starting to flip-flop. Nah. Don't flip-flop now like a crab that hopped out the pot. Throw some butter on his back and throw him back in the pot. Nah, don't switch up now, buddy. Don't switch up. Keep your opinions. Whoever's going to win is going to win. But let's get into the chat. And we catch it with this close-up shot of Sendo. Sendo says, believe. And we see an action-packed round 3. Sendo a light with fighting spirit. His knuckles raring for a comeback. Round 1507. Combat knuckles. Is it real? Or is it a bluff? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I said George left to bring back excellence. We don't know. We just see Sendo's knuckles cracking. Quick cracking. And he says, in my... Whoa, let me get this double page spread. Look at Sendo's hand. Look at the perspective. Wait a minute. We haven't seen a perspective shot like this since Ippo versus Gonzalez. Look at that hand. Look at the hand. Half Ricardo bought into the dream. Half Ricardo bought into the dream. Is he delusional? Does he not see it coming? Look at the veinage in the forearms right now. If this punch connected, Ricardo's flying off his feet, confirmed. Like I said before, there is no guarantee that Ricardo goes down for any longer than a 4 count if he does land flat on his back. If he lands on his feet, I don't know, he have to go for defensive maneuvers. Will his feet still work, or will his feet be stuck in the mud like Antonio was against Ippo when he blew out his rib cage with that level blow? Ugh. Who knows? Knuckles! And it flies up, but it connects. It connects on absolutely nothing. My yes! But it doesn't seem like Ricardo weaved out of the way of it. But Sendo, on this same page where it just flies up in the air, he doesn't seem distressed about this. We gotta see what happens on the next, because it's a full page on the next page. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait, no! No way! No! So he flies past, and Sendo with the right hand. No way! If he throws his body, into this punch, no! Ricardo says, I'm not sure what triggered this, but he's back on the attack. There's just big empty swings, but such pressure. No, he's going through the Gonzalez panic attack. This is so overly coordinated. They're just empty swings, but look at the pressure. The pressure. He says, but such pressure behind him. You see the crack of his knuckle. Ricardo notices something. Ricardo says to himself, he's still coming. And Sendo's still going for the straight right. And that second punch connects on nothing. I don't understand. But it does brush his past Ricardo. I think it clipped his arm somewhere. His right arm. But boy, that's a lot of fucking force. The perspective shot on this image right now is George is pulling out some Alfredo Gonzalez type. I said he went on a 2-week break because he's going to bring back excellent. I didn't know how accurate I was. That this is a magnificent shot right here. Dimmer page spread, and Ricardo is off balance. Wait a minute, he's off balance. And Ricardo says to himself, "He only grazed my shoulder, but it completely destroyed my balance. Get back to form." And Sendo says to himself, "He crumbled." And Sendo might prepare for something else. Dante and Takamura's intrigued. Ippo is sweating, but he's amazed at the sight he's seen. No. But what is he going for? Hey, wait, and Ippo said when I said he was sweating, Ippo said that's a halfway between a hook and an uppercut. A 3/4 from below, from a diagonal, a 3/4 below from a diagonal angle. Crack, crack, crack. And Sendo's about to, Ippo's about to say Sendo. Wait, no, it's the smash. Nah. To be continued. All right. A lot of hype. A lot of hype. Of course, a lot of hype. A lot of hype. A lot of hype. Let me calm down here. Let me recapture myself. There's a lot of hype throughout the chapter, right? But now I'm curious. I am very well curious. And the question is, he threw out these punches, but what was the intent behind them? And I really am curious. George might be pulling out something I could never expect. Because we don't truly know what Miyata and Sendo was working on. We just know that there was an incomplete version he used on the Great Takamura. And then Miyata was like, I'll help you out with this. And that was more or less it. So we still don't know what Sendo is doing. But the amount of artwork George is putting into these punches. Like, if Sendo was to connect full body, I think he could kill somebody. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, Sendo hits hard enough. He's already one-shot at Jose Nargo. Clean. Now, there's no doubt about it. He one-shotted him. One punch. He was done. I'm not even joking. Like, he one-shotted that guy. He was getting beat on for 8 rounds, and he one-shotted him with a smash clean to the chin. So it's just, as I said before, we don't know what the plan is. Because I figured, boy, he's going to try to land something. But the second punch, he winds up full body. And it flies past him. And he says to believe in my knuckles. And he winds up for another one right off the back. Using the momentum like he did against Gonzalez to throw another punch. And Ricardo doesn't seem to know what's going on. He doesn't. And I love the fact that Sendo had been completely triggered. His senses are driven into overdrive. Sendo, right now, boys and girls, is probably the most focused he's ever been. Which is the thing I've been waiting for. But the reason why I keep mentioning it doesn't matter if his ribs are broken. There's a reason why I keep saying if Ricardo was to split his face open and draw blood, that would be a problem. It's because when Sendo is actually in there, when he's actually fighting and being combative and trying to win, he does not care about what happens, as long as he's punching. So it's hard to explain. Like, we even saw that, like, he was getting whooped by Gonzalez and other people, and it's just like, boy, this guy had, like, the man was on Bambi legs, about to go into the dark abyss, and he pulled himself out of it against Gonzalez. So this is what I've been waiting for. Like I said before, if Sendo lose, as long as he's trying, I don't really care. It's good to see Sendo getting back on the attack and trying to do something. I'm not hearing no, he's, I ain't hearing it. But so far, I expect this chapter to be this short. But, you know, I don't know. George is, that's the thing. The short chapters, I don't really mind, depending on the content of the chapter and, you know, what's happening and what's coming up next. I wouldn't say this is really a filler chapter because Sendo is doing something. And we don't know what he's doing. This is not filler. This is more a setup chapter for the next one. It really gets you caught in it, because now, like, it's a whole mystery. We don't know what he's doing in here. We really don't. Because the whole, what we saw against Takamura's, right? You fake him out with the right. And like you throw a punch, fake him out with the left, and connects clean with the right. But in this case, like he don't threw out like 3 full body punches, and none of them connected. And Ricardo seemed like I said before, it's like he's caught into the dream. And Ricardo has not made one attempt to counter. Like I said last week, Ricardo was to counter these punches, at least with a jab. I wonder what it would do. At least a dual exchange. I wonder what it would do. But I don't know. I am curious. I am curious. Because you see some of this artwork, like if you see how much wine he got on that punch, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And this listen. On the third punch miss, Martinez off balance, just clipped his shoulder, but he got to retain focus. And Sendo notices that he's off balance, and he was like, he crumbled. Yes, Sendo, he crumbled like a cookie. And we see the twist of his fist, and we see Ricardo's. I don't know if his right hand is feigned for a right, or that's just him regaining his form, and he's tightening up his guard. I can't say. No, that's shadow. But it is, we do see Sendo's hand, like twisting upside down. Everybody noticed it. Dante, Takamura, Ippo, he's like, that's halfway between a hook and an uppercut, 3/4 below from a diagonal angle. Crack, crack, crack. I smash. Yeah, it's this point I was talking about. So it was this point. Yeah, Ricardo is moving his hand. If he's able to parry, I don't know. I don't think a person can parry a smash like he's Mike Elliott. I don't see that happening. I don't. But I kept saying before, could this be a setup to a smash feint? Because remember, when was the last time we've ever seen Sendo throw a smash with his right hand? Called the deadly smash. We've never seen it. When was the last time we've ever seen Sendo do the super smash? Never seen it. Unlike with Gonzalez, Ricardo only used his footwork at certain moments. Very certain moments. Especially early in the fight. He only used it at specific moments. Like, I don't recall him using it too much against Wally. Or some other guys. Or even Dante for that matter. Because he does have some good footwork. We've seen him train, in the sparring with Sendo. We've seen it early in the fight. Ricardo can use his footwork when he wants to. But it's like kind of like a mutual thing. He only uses it when it's necessary. And he's not really like an outboxer footwork type of guy. Compared to Gonzalez, who fights differently. Even though they got a similar jab, they fight differently. But could the rumored smash feint be actually real? Because just like Jose Nargo, the only punch I gotta watch out for is the smash. Like I said before, a dual exchange is suicide. No one wins a dual exchange with Sendo. Nobody. Well, if he's Ricardo, I don't believe Ricardo can survive a dual exchange with Sendo. I just don't. The punching power is too much. If it's countered, maybe. That's a very strong maybe. But even with that, I don't know about that. If it's a similar counter to Gonzalez, he's been hit by that too many times to actually do anything. Now somebody say, well, what about accumulated damage? He wasn't in the ring for like a good 6 months because he broke his hands again, remember? Same thing with Jose Nargo. He broke his hand again, remember? So he's not just, well, going back into a fight. Besides for some basic light work training, he's not really doing anything too intense. So his body is able to properly heal from that. I don't know. What is the I don't know. I always go back to that because we've yet to see Miyata explain why did Miyata believe that Sendo was the only person that can defeat Ricardo Martinez. Why? What, like, it's never. I just find it strange, completely weird. With many other characters, right? You get to see them in training, sparring camp. You get some element, something, unless it's like off the backboard of what they're doing in training. In this case, we get nothing. Absolutely nothing. We get a few shots of like catching up with him. They may be mid jog or something like that, but there was nothing of, well, what the full plan is, what the full objective, what the game plan is. We've seen his coach say nothing. Coach has just been there, just being the perfect emotional support partner. So I can't say. I don't believe the smash is real. I really don't. Because like I keep saying, have Ricardo bought into the dream? Has he bought into the illusion? Well, I don't tire myself out of this chapter. Has he bought into the dream that Sendo's going to put everything behind this smash? Because he's like, the pressure. The pressure. They're just big empty swings. Now what if? I may be crazy. What if, right? Now sure, he was in emotional distress, right? Thinking about grandma, right? We haven't heard him say grandma at one time in this chapter. Great. But what if the stuff from the first 2 rounds was all a part of the game plan? Look, the tinfoil hat is on extra tight, but let's honestly think about this. Sendo, we've seen use the jab with other people, and he was jabbing with Ricardo in round 1. Completely dropped his jab and just kept throwing heavy punches back to back, to the point where Ricardo was just shelling up and taking the damage. Now, sure, could this create a false sense of Sendo can take a punch that he can't? I don't think so. Let's not say why. He's seen what it done to Dante. He's seen how it put Wally out of commission. And he also had took that punch in sparring against Ricardo. He was getting lit up like a Christmas tree. Like completely bloody. So it just... But could it be that unknowingly throwing these over swings that's not going to mean anything is a part of the long-term strategy? Remember, he was jabbing with Ricardo in the early parts of round 1. Then he stopped doing it. He never explained or elaborated on why he stopped jabbing with Ricardo and committed to the heavy swings for about the rest of the round 1 and for like the most of round 2. It's never explained, never elaborated on, never brought up. Takamura don't pound it out. Miyata is crickets. Of course, Miyata is crickets. And Miyata is part-time pessimist. Every time. That's the thing. Like, look, Miyata is a sick man. Miyata's sick. Like, he will believe in somebody as soon as they get the ass whooped. Look, seems like the time to wrap it up. You're a sick man, Miyata. You're sick. Yeah, this is a sick man. Think about it. Every time the fight's not going, somebody he expected to go. Well, so like the fight's going to be wrapped up. What did you expect? Miyata's a sick man. This man is a pessimist. Just look back on it every time. Whether it's Ippo, whether it's Mishima or anybody else, every time it's not going their way. What did you expect? What did you? This man here. This man here. The perfect duo. Mr. Optimus Ippo and Mr. Pessimist Megatron Miyata. But yeah, could it be a chance that this whole time this is a part of the long-term strategy against Ricardo Martinez? Because it's never explained. You could say it's emotional distress. That does play a heavy part. There's no excuse for Sendo's behavior in the last past, 5-6 chapters? But there had to be an explanation made of why now is he committing to these swings that he's pretty sure. I don't think he's attempting to land these punches. It's just like how he didn't attempt to land these punches against the great Takamura. But the great Takamura bought into the dream like they were just empty punches. Until blam, out of nowhere, he got hit clean. So I don't know. I think the smash is going to be the feint. Now why? God, why wouldn't Sendo in distress, who's been dropped twice, who's probably down on the scorecards, he got dropped 2 times in 1 round. That's a 7-10 round. Sendo's massively behind on points, so why wouldn't he try to kick it up now to try to turn the fight around, right? But could it all just be a dream? Could it all just be a delusion? Like I said before, if Sendo connects in one of these full body punches, Ricardo, I'm giving him some leeway and say he's gonna get up at 5. He's not gonna get his legs back until the next round, maybe. I'll give it to some leeway. But the full body punch like this. Remember, we know how much harder he was able to improve his striking when he started to exercise his legs properly. We've seen it. We've seen it. But could it be? He's going to feint out the smash for an even harder punch. It's possible. It's possible. Because Ricardo seems like he's already preparing to counter it or to do something about it. If you're going to head slip like he's Jose Mendoza, he's already seen it happening. He's already noticed it. But if he uses that momentum for the smash and misfire on purpose, I'm telling you, if Ricardo gets caught in the dual exchange, it's not going to end well for him. I'm not saying he's going to lose. That's just going to be a bad round for him. Well, he's been feeling his punches. No. There's a big difference. I can explain it to you. I guess the best way to explain it to you is the whole Gonzalez thing, where Ricardo pointed out the different levels of punches that boxers use, and how Sendo's usually says 7, 8, 9, 10. But so far, it's only been 7, 8, 9. So it just... Alright. And I know you guys thought some things about this chapter. Because you could argue Ricardo has bought into the dream. He's bought into the dream. And when people buy into the dream, people go to sleep. I just don't see him one-shotting Ricardo. I just don't see it. That's an implausibility for that to happen. But it's going to do some type of damage. Now, the more curious part is, what if it's not, since Sendo is a headhunter, similar to Miyata. Now, it's not like he can't do body blows. He's done it before. But he hasn't done any body blows yet. And we're unsure if he tried to do any against Ricardo in sparring, since Sendo was cut out. But if that switches to a body blow, he'll be going out like Ralph Anderson, I'm gonna be honest. If Sendo was to wind up and use the momentum of one of his punches, especially a smash, and punches Ricardo's body or even his chest, that's gonna cause a problem. Well, because you read Ippo as much as I do, we've seen what happened when Ippo punched in somebody in their chest, and they said Ippo's punch felt comparable to an actual bullet. Malcolm was actually shot, and he's getting a flashback to him being shot, and that's when Ippo punched him in the chest. So it just, I don't know. I think Ricardo is bought into the dream. Because we don't know what Sendo is doing before I wrap this up. We really don't. We really don't know what this guy is doing right now. Because you would expect the first 3 punches, it would have landed. But it didn't. It's the same way how Sendo didn't try to attack the body when he kept thinking about Grandma. Because the tinfoil hat is on extra tight. I'm not saying he was supposed to get dropped. That was never supposed to happen. Get dropped twice and end up on Bambi legs and get struggling. Like most of this round, and him doing the clinching, all of that was not a part of the plan. I'm not saying that, but I am saying the constant getting Ricardo used to these oversized big swings. We've seen Sendo throw more comeback punches against Ippo. We've seen this. We've seen it. So it just, and the way Sendo is sizing up Ricardo right now, he crumbled. And that punch didn't even punch him. Look, all I say is, I just pray for Ricardo that one of these punches don't connect clean to his head. Alright, you can always repair a ribcage, right? Cracking somebody's face or eye socket, that's gonna be some serious work. Because there's nothing Ippo can do that Sendo can't. Their punching power is very relatively similar. Only difference is that Sendo has more one-hit KOs. So, I don't know, boys and girls. That's the chapter. I would expect it to be a little bit longer. I don't even know if this video even reached 20 minutes. But it's just, And the fact that Sendo Ippo is like a smash. Cause one quick recap, right? Believe in my knuckles. First punch wind up, miss. Following up with momentum. Second punch, miss. And he's going for a smash. The third punch, will the third one miss? And Ricardo, it looks like he's about to counter it with a right straight down the pipe. I don't know. I don't know. But the question is, with the sweat on Ricardo's face, will he be able to fire his own gun before Sendo's unleashes cannon? A rifle versus a cannon blow. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? One of the first guns ever made versus a modern day weapon, bolt action sniper rifle. I can't wait to see it, boys and girls. I can't wait to see it. But I know you got thoughts, opinions, because outside of that, the best thing I could come up to you for a theory is, for one, whatever he learned with Miyata, we're about to see it. Right? We're about to see it. The smash feint may be real. And two, is this a part of a bigger plan to get used to Sendo throwing oversized punches? Isn't that what they came to see? Sendo to throwing out punches? To come in there like an outdated caveman with no skill, with no brain, with no intelligence, and just throw punches. Now, the more advanced viewers will understand that there's more elements to Sendo's game. The more casual individuals, well, that's just all he does. Because from that logic, Ippo is a quite simple boxer, and he just throw heavy punches and knock people out. But this could be a long-term ploy. It could be. Because so far with the Ippo generation, we've only really got... Now we lost Mishibo, tragic. Wale was a newcomer, so it's 50-50 what people want to say he's a part of it. But technically, we only got like 3 people. Technically 4 if Ippo come out of retirement. But boy, Ippo is for them bullets, isn't he? But yeah. We only got 3 people left. Sendo, Miyata, and Vorg. And how would an Ippo Vorg or Ippo Sendo rematch turn out? Not Ippo Sendo, but Sendo versus Vorg rematch turn out. But one of them have to move up though. But it doesn't seem like Ippo putting any weight though. You still gotta stand featherweight. Gotta. Who knows? Been a video, like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.